Snowflakes struck Malik Carter's face like tiny shards of ice as he pedaled through the slush-clogged street. The delivery box on the back of his rusted bicycle rattled with every bump. The chain groaned, the tires slipped, and his fingers, numb and cracked, barely gripped the handlebars. But he couldn't stop. Not tonight. Just one more, he muttered through chattering teeth. One more delivery, and I get to keep my room. The town of Brookhaven was quiet, almost ghostly. Streetlights flickered like dying candles, and the only sound was the crunch of Malik's tires on frozen ground. He was 18, tall but thin, with a face hardened by too many winters and too few meals. His mother's bicycle paint chipped, seat torn was the only thing she'd left him. Every ride felt like a promise to her memory. His phone buzzed in his pocket. A message from Mr. Dunn, his boss at the courier shop. "Don't be late again. You missed the deadline, you're out." Malik glanced at the clock. 8:42 p.m. The last delivery was due by 9 o'clock, and it was on the far side of town. He tightened his scarf, leaned forward, and pushed harder. His legs burned, his breath came out in fog. He cut through an alleyway behind the bakery, dodged a stray dog, and nearly collided with a trash bin. Come on, he growled. Then something caught his eye. A frail old woman stood alone at a bus stop across the street. No buses ran this late. Her coat was thin, her silver hair undone, and her gloved hands trembled as she clutched a small purse. Malik slowed down. The clock ticked in his head. 8:43, 8:44. He should go. But she looked lost. He called out, "Ma'am, you okay?" The woman turned slowly, eyes glassy but kind. "Oh, I was waiting for the number 6 bus." As it passed, Malik blinked. "The 6? That route's been closed for months." Oh dear. Her voice quivered. "I was trying to get home. Willow Estate. Do you know it?" His chest tightened. Willow Estate was miles away, far beyond the delivery zone. "I can call someone for you," he offered, already pulling out his phone. No. She shook her head quickly. "I don't know their numbers. I just need to get home." The wind howled between them. Malik glanced at the time, 8:46. If he left now, he could still make it. He looked at her again. Her lips were trembling. The cold gnawed at her. "Damn it," he whispered. Then louder, "Climb on. I'll take you there." Her eyes widened. "Oh no, I couldn't ask that." "You're not asking. I'm offering." She hesitated, then gave a faint nod. Malik helped her onto the small rear rack, steadying her carefully. The old bicycle dipped under their combined weight, groaning in protest. "Hold tight," he said, pushing off into the icy wind. The first few meters were brutal. The road was slick, his tires slipping on patches of ice. He leaned forward, pedaling with all his strength. The woman clutched his coat. The air stung his face. "Thank you, young man," she said softly. Not many would stop. Malik grunted, too breathless to answer. "You remind me of my grandson," she continued, her voice barely audible over the wind. "He was always in a hurry, just like you." Malik smiled weakly. "He must be proud of you." She was quiet for a moment. Then she said, "He's gone now. Been 5 years. Sometimes I forget he's not still waiting for me at home." The words hung in the air like frost. Malik swallowed hard, focusing on the road. The streetlights thinned out as they left the town's main road and entered the open countryside. The cold grew sharper. His thighs burned. Every breath felt like swallowing glass. But he didn't stop. Behind him, the woman, Clara, as she later introduced herself, began humming softly, an old tune that sounded like something from his childhood. For a brief moment, the world felt still. "Why'd you stop?" she asked suddenly. He blinked. "Stop what?" "Eating so fast." "You slow down." Malik chuckled through his exhaustion. "Didn't want you to fall off." She laughed, a small, trembling laugh that somehow made the air warmer. But warmth doesn't last long in Brookhaven. The snow picked up again, heavy now, blinding. Malik could barely see ahead. His tires slid, and he almost lost control. "Hold on," he shouted. "I am." Clara gasped, clutching his shoulders. They swerved past an abandoned car, then another. Malik's heart pounded. He could hear his mother's voice in his head. "Don't give up, baby. Keep pedaling." When they reached the old bridge, Malik's legs were shaking. His body screamed for rest. But the lights of Willow Estate shimmered faintly in the distance, like hope itself. Clara pointed weakly. That's it. That's my home. Malik nodded, breathless. Almost there. The last stretch was uphill. Each pedal felt like lifting a mountain. His hands were raw, his throat dry, his lungs burning. He thought of the deadline, of Mr. Dunn's angry face, of his room with its single blanket. All of it faded as he heard Clara whisper behind him. You're a good boy, you know. The world needs more like you. Something broke open in him. For the first time in a long time, Malik smiled, not out of joy, but out of something deeper. Relief. Connection. When they reached the estate gates, the front lights exploded on, and two figures came running. Mother, a woman's voice cried. Oh, thank God. Clara gasped. Eleanor. Malik stopped the bike and helped her down carefully. His knees buckled from fatigue. Eleanor, Clara's daughter, rushed forward, wrapping her mother in a hug. We've been looking everywhere for you. I found a kind young man, Clara said, turning to Malik. He brought me home. Eleanor looked at him with gratitude and disbelief. You rode all this way? On that? Malik shrugged. She needed help. As they embraced again, Malik glanced at his phone. 9:24. He'd missed the deadline. He forced a smile. Glad she's safe. I should go. Clara took his hand, her grip surprisingly firm. You've given me back something I thought I'd lost, dear. Thank you. Her eyes softened as she looked down at the crumpled delivery slip poking from his jacket pocket. She quietly pulled it out. Your name's Malik, yes? He nodded. Then I'll remember that. He gave a tired nod, mounted his bike again, and turned into the dark road, leaving behind the golden glow of Willow Estate. The snow fell harder now. His legs were trembling. His mind echoed with one thought. Mr. Dunn's going to kill me. He arrived back in town well past 10. The shop lights were off. His room door was padlocked. A small note was nailed to it. Late again. Room revoked. Malik dropped his bike, pressed his head against the cold door, and let out a breath that fogged into the night. He had nowhere to go. He slumped against the wall, closing his eyes, fighting the urge to break down. Hey, a soft voice said. He looked up. Mrs. Vega, the market woman who sold bread by day, stood there holding a lantern. You look frozen, child. Come inside. You can sleep in the storeroom tonight. He nodded weakly. Thank you. As he followed her inside, the cold finally caught up with him. His legs gave out. He dropped to the floor, breathing hard. Rest, she said kindly. Tomorrow will be kinder. He wanted to believe her. But as he drifted into uneasy sleep, all he could think about was the sound of Clara's voice saying, You're a good boy, you know. The morning came slow, like the world didn't want to wake up. When Malik opened his eyes, the smell of baked bread filled the air. Mrs. Vega was already at her counter, wrapping loaves in brown paper. She smiled when she saw him stirring. Good morning, sleepyhead. You made the whole market your concert last night with that snoring, she teased. He sat up groggily, rubbing his face. Sorry, Mom. I didn't mean to. She waved him off. Don't be silly. You look half dead. Eat something before you freeze again. She handed him a roll, still warm from the oven. Malik bit into it and almost sighed. It was the first real food he'd had in 2 days. As he ate, she watched him quietly. You work for Dunn's Courier, right? Used to, Malik said, mouth full. He kicked me out last night. Because you were late? He nodded, staring at the floor. She muttered something under her breath that sounded suspiciously like an insult. Then she said, Don't worry. Life has a way of circling back when you least expect it. For a brief second, he forgot everything: the snow, the lost job, the locked room, until reality hit him like cold water. He was homeless again. He sat up, groaning. The storeroom smelled of yeast and coffee beans. Mrs. Vega must have already opened a shop. He could hear her calling to early customers outside. His phone buzzed beside him. A message from Mr. Dunn. Return the company jacket and delivery bag today. You're done here. Malik stared at the screen for a long time. Then he typed. Understood. He didn't hit send. What was the point? The man wouldn't care anyway. He stood, dusted himself off, and walked outside. The morning air bit at his skin, but the snow had stopped. Brookhaven glistened under the pale sun like a town pretending to be kind. Leaving already? Mrs. Vega asked from behind her stall. He nodded. I've got to return some things. She frowned. You'll need a warm meal first. Seat. I'll get you something hot. He tried to refuse, but his stomach answered for him. So he sat quietly as she ladled steaming porridge into a cracked bowl and handed it over. You've got kind eyes, she said, watching him eat. But they're tired. Be careful not to let the world harden them. He looked up, unsure how to respond. Mrs. Vega smiled. You never know who's watching, boy. Sometimes good things come back around. He didn't believe it, but he appreciated the thought. When he was done, he thanked her and left. He returned the company jacket and bag to the courier shop's mailbox, since it was still closed. His bike leaned against the wall nearby, the back wheel bent from last night's ride. It looked as tired as he felt. He was about to turn away when a voice called, You're Malik, right? He spun around. A tall man in a wool coat stood by a parked car. His suit looked expensive, definitely not someone from around here. Yeah, Malik said cautiously. Who's asking? The man smiled politely. Name's Henry. I work for the Ellington Foundation. Malik frowned. Never heard of it. Henry chuckled softly. I'm not surprised. We don't advertise much. But I believe you met Mrs. Clara Ellington last night. Malik blinked. Wait, Clara? The old lady? Yes, Henry said, stepping closer. She couldn't stop talking about you this morning. Said you rode through a snowstorm to bring her home safely. She wanted to see you. Malik's heart skipped. She's okay. More than okay, Henry said, smiling. You saved her life, son. If you hadn't stopped, she would have frozen out there. Malik was quiet for a moment. I was just trying to help. Henry nodded. That's exactly what she said. She'd like to see you at Willow Estate, if you're free. Malik hesitated. His pride told him to say no, but curiosity, and something softer, pulled at him. Sure, he finally said. The drive to Willow Estate felt unreal. The car's heater hummed softly, and Malik's fingers tingled as warmth returned to them. His reflection in the window looked different somehow, still exhausted but alive. When they arrived, Clara was waiting near the fireplace in a massive sitting room. The fire crackled behind her, and sunlight pooled on the carpet like gold. There you are, she said with a smile that reached her eyes. My brave cyclist. Malik laughed nervously. You look a lot better today. That's thanks to you, she said. Sit down, dear. He obeyed, still awkward, unsure how to act in a place that smelled of wealth and comfort. Clara leaned forward. When I told my daughter what you did, she cried. We all did. You could have left me there, Malik. But you didn't. He shrugged. Anyone would have done the same. No, she said firmly. Not anyone. She reached beside her chair and pulled out an envelope. I don't have enough words to thank you, but maybe this can help. He frowned. What's that? Something to keep you warm and to give you a start. He opened it. Inside was a check. The number made his breath catch. I can't take this, he said quickly. You can, she replied, and you will. Consider it an investment in your kindness. Before he could protest again, Clara's daughter, Eleanor, entered the room. She smiled warmly. Mr. Dunn called us this morning, she said. Malik's stomach sank. He did. Yes, she continued. He said you lost your job, but we've already fixed that. You'll report to our foundation starting Monday. You'll be delivering care packages for our outreach program. Decent pay. Flexible hours. Malik stared at her, speechless. You helped one person, Clara said. Now you'll help many. For the first time in days, Malik felt something he hadn't dared to feel. Hope. He nodded slowly, eyes glistening. Thank you, both of you. Clara reached out and patted his hand. Just promise me one thing. Don't stop being the kind of person who stops for others, even when it costs you. I promise, he said softly. The rest of the morning passed in a blur. Eleanor gave him new winter gear, a warm jacket, and gloves that actually fit. They took a photo together by the fireplace, Clara insisted. When he finally stepped outside, the sun was high and the snow was melting. He looked at his reflection in the car window again. The same boy, but somehow different. He didn't have all the answers. He didn't know if life would finally stay kind. But for now, for this moment, it was enough. As he walked down the hill toward town, he passed a group of kids throwing snowballs. One missed and hit him square in the back. The kids froze, waiting for him to yell. Instead, he laughed, loud, unrestrained, the sound echoing across the bright, thawing street. He picked up a handful of snow and tossed it back. The kids screamed and scattered, laughing as they ran. And for the first time in a long while, Malik Carter didn't feel like the world was against him. He felt like he could keep pedaling, no matter how steep the hill. Sometimes, kindness doesn't pay in money. It pays in miracles. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more inspiring stories like this. And remember, you never know whose life you might change just by stopping to help.